Maplewood Court was the kind of neighborhood every family dreamed of. Neatly mowed lawns, colorful flower beds, and tall maple trees lined both sides of the street. Children played freely in the cul-de-sac, and every house proudly displayed a shiny brass plate with its number. Yet behind the charm of this peaceful community, a darkness stirred. For years, the Homeowners Association, HOA, of Maplewood Court maintained order with an iron grip. Rules were strict: no loud music after 9 p.m., no decorations outside the set festival periods, and absolutely no digging without HOA approval. Those who broke the rules received quiet warnings. Anonymous notes slipped under their doors, a damaged garden gnome, or sometimes the sound of scratching against windows in the dead of night. But none of those warnings compared to what happened at house number 17. The new owner of the house, Mr. Thomas Ellery, had moved in just 2 months earlier. A retired historian in his late 60s, Thomas had bought the property after the passing of his wife, seeking solitude to work on his memoir. He was polite to neighbors, but mostly kept to himself. One week in, he violated an important HOA rule. Against the community guidelines, Thomas started to dig a garden in his backyard without HOA permission. Several neighbors warned him discreetly, speaking softly during mail pickups or slipping cautionary notes into his mailbox. But Thomas ignored them. That's when the odd things began. First, strange whispering sounds drifted into his house at night. They seemed to come from the walls, the floors, even from beneath his bed. He blamed old pipes, wind drafts, and his imagination. Then, the garden gnome in his front yard, a gift from the welcome committee, was smashed to pieces overnight. Thomas thought it was a prank by local kids. But what happened next could not be explained. On a chilly Friday evening, neighbors saw Thomas standing in his front yard, talking, arguing with someone. But no one else was there. His hands waved wildly, his face red with frustration. That was the last time anyone ever saw Thomas Ellery. The next morning, house number 17 stood eerily silent. No lights, no sign of Thomas. His car was parked in the driveway. The newspaper lay untouched on the porch. By noon, the HOA president, Mrs. Evelyn Carter, rang the doorbell. No answer. She called the police. The police arrived and entered the house. It was spotless. Dinner set on the table, TV paused mid-news broadcast, bedroom light on, but no trace of Thomas. No struggle, no sign of forced entry. It was as if he had simply vanished. The entire neighborhood buzzed with whispers. He broke the rules, they muttered. The HOA warned him. They always do. But no evidence of foul play ever surfaced. Detective Laura Green was assigned to the case. She found something unusual on her first visit, a fresh hole dug in the backyard. Inside it was nothing but loose soil. The strange part? The hole was not dug by Thomas. The shape was perfectly circular, the dirt smoothed and packed, as if someone or something had clawed its way out rather than in. That night, Detective Green stayed in her car outside house number 17, hoping for clues. At 3:17 a.m., her radio hissed. A low whisper crackled through. "He's below, where the rules are broken." Startled, she looked up and swore she saw shadowy figures moving behind the curtains of house number 17. But no one was supposed to be there. Determined to uncover the truth, Detective Green met with Mrs. Carter the next morning. The HOA president greeted her with tight lips and wary eyes. "Detective, it's best not to dig into these matters," Mrs. Carter said softly, glancing around as if afraid they were being watched. "People who dig disappear." "What do you mean?" Laura demanded. "What happened to Thomas Ellery?" Mrs. Carter sighed. "Maplewood Court is built on old land that never wanted to be disturbed. Our rules are not just for order. They are protection." "Protection from what?" Laura pressed. "The hollow ones," whispered Mrs. Carter. "They live beneath. If you break the ground, you open the way for them. The HOA rules keep the soil undisturbed." "Those who ignore the warnings," she trailed off, shivering. Laura wanted to dismiss the story as superstition. But the evidence, the hole in the yard, the radio whisper, told her otherwise. That evening, Laura returned to house number 17 with a shovel. Ignoring every warning voice in her mind, she began to dig where the strange hole had been. The ground was soft, as if freshly turned. She dug deeper, the cold earth biting her fingers. At 5 feet, her shovel struck wood. A wooden trapdoor. With great effort, she pulled it open. A tunnel yawned beneath, lined with roots and stone. A damp, rotting smell oozed upward. Gripping her flashlight, Laura descended the ladder. The tunnel twisted downward. Strange markings covered the walls, symbols like claw marks mixed with odd runes. The air was thick and oppressive. At the end of the tunnel, she found a cavern. In the dim light, she saw dozens of human figures standing perfectly still. No, not standing. Hanging. Their faces were pale, their eyes wide open, frozen in terror. And there, among them, was Thomas Ellery, his expression forever trapped in a silent scream. Before Laura could move, a whisper swept the cavern. Soft. Insistent. New one broken the rules, stay forever. The walls pulsed. Dark shapes slithered from cracks in the stone, eyeless and grinning. Hollow ones. Laura ran. Up the ladder, through the hole, into the backyard, gasping in the cool night air. The tunnel closed behind her with a soft sigh, as if it had never been opened. The next day, house number 17 was sealed by order of the HOA. No explanation was given. Detective Laura Green filed her report, but left out the truth. No one would believe it, but she knew, and so did the HOA. At the next community meeting, Mrs. Carter addressed the residents. "Remember the rules," she said firmly. "They are not suggestions. They are survival." The neighbors nodded silently, casting fearful glances at house number 17. Maplewood Court returned to quiet normalcy. Lawns were trimmed. Decorations stayed within guidelines. No one dug holes. No one broke the rules. For they knew the truth now. Beneath their perfect neighborhood, the hollow ones waited, forever hungry.